Before I start making all these things over here, it's maybe a good idea to first make this lid where the main shaft comes through. So I have to make something that fits in here. This is a bolt of an old shackle. You can see here it lived a hard life, and if I use it this way, I think it's just big enough to have this rim here to make this part, and then the stick out here is just enough to have this distance, which is like this, 12 millimeter. That could work, and then drill a hole through to fit the main shaft. But first I'm gonna cut off this part here in the bandsaw. Maximum depth of cut. That's okay. I will break it in a vise. Indicating where I have to drill the holes with my special dividing head here. All right. I have to drill these holes 1.6 millimeter. This is the tapping size, and then after there will be 2 millimeter. But first I'm gonna pre-drill with 1 millimeter, because this hole must come out. It's hard to see, of course, but just in the rim between the inner and the outer rim, and I don't want the drill to start bouncing around. Wish me luck. Right. I'm not gonna push my luck. I think I'm gonna fix this plate with only 3 bolts. That will be enough. It's always a good idea, I think, to have some pieces of high precision 3 parts in the shop. You never know what you can use them for. That's a good one. And of course there's one bozo hole. I don't know if it's visible. One here, I don't know what happened. The 1mm hole was exactly in the right spot. And the 1.6, for I don't know what reason, I guess my eye's getting a bit older, drilled here. But we'll try to put a bit camouflage on it and we'll be okay. Right, let's drill the same holes in this part. Here also I installed a piece of tree to protect the freshly made dovetails. Don't want to mess them up, of course. Scary. I'm using the cover plate as a tap guide. It seems to work well until now. Now that this part is fixed on the body, it should be a bit easier to drill these other two holes. Should be. Always a bit tricky to say that. I think these little screws here look enormous in this little model. So let's do something about it. That's not gonna work. Genius. Alright. I think with these little screws the whole thing looks a bit better. This thing is gonna be the bull gear. Of course it's too big, it has to fit through this opening here. So I have to turn this diameter down. This pointy thing here has to disappear because of the rocker arm is gonna move over here. I have to turn down the thickness because this must be about in the middle of the main body here. And of course the other side, this gear has to go and this shaft has to come in here like this. I only hope this gear is not hardened. Let's find out. That's good. give it a try. It's not in center. Ah, whatever. It will work. In the meanwhile, you can hear the neighbors' kids having a good time in the garden. It's always nice to hear. To me, playing kids that have fun sounds like music, or maybe even better. Okay, but seems to work fine. That's good. Now to install the rocker arm, I have to drill here to the foot somewhere. Am I in frame? Yeah. I have to make a crank pin here in this bull gear, and then fix the rocker arm one way or another to this ram. Now of course I have to be very careful. If I fix something up here now, I can't assemble anymore. Not possible. So I need to think of a system that I put in the ram and then screw something up here, holding all this in place, and then assemble this part. I don't know how yet. I'm gonna figure something out. I found a little nail, and this is gonna be the crank pin. Let's put on some blue. Right. This one I have to tap and then drill a hole in the ram, and this one comes over here. Of course, finish it, make it round, and then I made this little slot here. First with the angle grinder and then with the smallest file I have. This one is 1.5 millimeter. I think it looks cute. And then of course drill the little hole here to hold this pivot thing. I don't know how they call it. Right, let's give all this a try. I tap through this one and this one at the same time, so I keep this one in place. And then after, the screw will go through and hold the 3 tapped parts together. Well, it's 2 parts, but in theory they will not bind. Line it up. Here we go. Let's see if it works. Perfect. I just have to clean up a bit these corners now, and this one will be good to go. Of course it's not finished yet, but I suppose you get the idea. That was easy. I think I made a little measurement mistake. That's okay. If it's too long, it's not a problem. If it's too short, that's a problem. Good. Next problem is to make here a pin where the rocker arm can pivot. But I would like to make it reversible. So if something goes wrong, I can take it apart again. If I put a bolt in here, that could work. But with the tabs I have, I can't go deep enough. My tabs are too short. But I think I have a solution. I'm gonna drill through this one and a bit in here, so that this nail can sit in the bottom of the hole here, and then widen the hole on this side a bit, and then put the bolt on top of the nail. If something goes wrong, I take this little bolt out and I can pull this nail out. Of course, I'm gonna cut it off, but I suppose you've got a point. If not, not a problem, you will see. Still the same 2mm tabs, still not broken, that's a good thing. Fits. I had to cut out a bit more material here on the rocker arm and even in the main body here, because of the stroke length was a bit too long and this part was touching in here. But now I think it's gonna work. So let's do a bit assembly. This little screw is a bit too long and it's touching the bell gear on the inside, so I have to cut it off, but I suppose you get the idea. When I did the first assembly, the thing of course didn't work. And I had to figure out why, and it's a bit time consuming. But now I fixed it and it works as a charm. No problem at all. Right, I think I'm gonna stop this video here because I see that my camera is running out of battery and can stop filming at any moment.